It can be so confusing trying to figure out what to eat to lose weight when you're constantly bombarded with marketing claims of lower sodium and lower fat and vegan and natural. So I'm gonna help you guys weed through the BS and get right down to which foods to avoid when trying to lose weight on a vegan diet. I'm gonna count these down from the least surprising to the most surprising, so you're gonna wanna stick around till the end of the video. Number 5, high GI foods. Now these are things like white potatoes, white rice, bread, and the more highly processed pasta available today. So anything that doesn't say whole grain in the ingredients list is likely going to be one of these high glycemic index foods. And I just want to set the record straight because white potatoes never used to be high glycemic. It's literally one of the only plant foods that has a higher glycemic index because it's been genetically engineered throughout the years to become more and more and more highly glycemic. So this is going to be any food that causes a high spike in blood sugar after consumption. So people tend to think things like apples and other fruits are high glycemic, but they're really not. What happens in the body after your blood sugar spikes is it's going to release a lot of insulin to help usher that glucose into the cells. But the higher the blood sugar spike, the more overproduction of insulin is going to be produced into the bloodstream, which happens to be a fat storing hormone. So all of the excess insulin is going to lead to more and more fat storage. High glycemic index foods are not your friend when it comes to weight loss. Number 4, dried fruit. I was so devastated to learn about this when I was first starting my weight loss journey, because I would literally eat like 5 pounds of dates a day, thinking it didn't matter how much I ate because it was a health food. But no, dates are very highly calorically dense, as well as things like apricots and raisins and cranberries. These have all been stripped of their water, increasing the concentration of things like sugar and calories. So steer clear of those dried fruits when possible. They are technically good for you. They do have a lot of health benefits, so you don't need to completely remove these from your diet. I would definitely recommend doing it temporarily until you get to your weight goal. And then you can start reincorporating these into your diet slowly to see exactly what kind of impact they have on your weight. Because some people can actually get away with eating a little bit of these higher calorically dense foods because they're just genetically prone to be able to break them down more efficiently and not store them. But other people are genetically predisposed to store these types of highly calorically dense items. If you found value in those points, make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel. I am consistently coming out with videos that assist people in their weight loss goals. And I'm also a nutrition and weight loss coach. If you guys want to contact me directly for a free consultation, my information is in the description box below. If you're struggling with any aspect of weight loss, whether it has to do with nutrition or otherwise, I am very resourceful, and this happens to be a great passion of mine. I don't know why. I find weight loss so fascinating. So any and all comments or questions are welcome in these free consultation calls. All right, let's move on to number 3. These are the artificial sweeteners that so many of us thought were completely harmless. Things like stevia and sweet and low and aspartame. These are not conducive to weight loss for several reasons. Number 1 being that they are endocrine disruptors on a very, very high level. These are going to wreak havoc among your hormones and your hormones' ability to function properly. And many of these hormones have to do with fat storage, so you don't want to disrupt the process. But the second reason that I find to be even more harmful is the fact that they perpetuate cravings for sweets. So if you are one of those individuals like myself who are incredibly predisposed to having a sweet tooth, then you want to steer clear of these artificial sweeteners on another level, because they are going to stimulate the same pathway, the same reward centers in the brain that normal types of sugar would trigger. They're going to perpetuate any and all cravings for those sweet, sugary foods. If you want information on how to get rid of the sugar cravings for good, make sure you check out this video here, because this is an insidious problem that will continue disrupting your life in so many areas until you take care of it. I completely get that. I've dedicated many videos to this topic. And on a side note, many, if not all, of these artificial sweeteners are carcinogenic. So having cancer, yes, might be conducive to weight loss, but it's not conducive to health. All right, let's move on to number 2. This is added sodium or salt. You're gonna find this mostly as a vegan in vegan substitutions and any prepackaged foods. But as a non-vegan, you're gonna find a ton of this in animal products and dairy. I had no idea how much sodium they put in cheese. Just look at the package next time you go to the grocery store. So salt hinders your weight loss on so many levels. It perpetuates the need to overconsume. They've done numerous studies showing that a person will continue to overconsume something like popcorn that's been doused in salt as opposed to popcorn that's just natural and doesn't have any sodium on it. If you want more information on salt substitutes and ways to remove salt from your diet and the benefits you will gain from doing this, make sure you check out this video here. I am a huge advocate of not only whole food plant-based, but also an SOS-free diet. So a diet that consists of whole plant foods without those added chemicals of salt, sugar, and oil. Speak of the devil, the number one food you want to avoid when trying to lose weight on a vegan diet or any other diet for that matter is oil. So many people have this misconception that oil is some kind of health food. It's the farthest thing from. It harms your endothelial lining and your blood vessels. It is so calorically dense that it's actually 4,000 calories per pound, which is 120 calories per tablespoon. That is a ton of liquid fat that you do not need to be taking in when you're trying to lose weight or trying to maintain a lean body mass for that matter. When you ingest something that's so devoid of fiber and nutrition as oil, what happens is it's rapidly absorbed into your body and stored as fat. It's absorbed within 3 to 5 minutes as opposed to like a whole olive if you're comparing it to olive oil, which would have the fiber and the micronutrients intact. So it would take a lot more for your body to break those down to get to the fats. And it's never going to be able to liberate all of those fat calories because they're so intertwined with that fiber. So you always want to be eating whole foods, especially when it comes to these more fatty plant foods like olives and coconuts and avocados. Palm and coconut oil tend to have the highest amount of saturated fat. So those are going to be the biggest proponents in any weight gain that you might be experiencing. So first and foremost, I would recommend removing those from your diet and then moving on to the other processed oils. These are all going to be highly calorically dense and absorb incredibly rapidly into the body and stored as fat, but also they are devoid of nutrition. So you are not taking in those micronutrients that you could be taking in from eating a healthier item. I personally was not able to take off the last 15-20 pounds until I was able to completely rid my diet of salt, oil, and sugar, mostly oil. For whatever reason, I was so addicted to like tortilla chips. I loved eating tortilla chips and salsa. So always check the labels on your tortilla chips, and likely you're not going to find any without oil. So your best bet is to make some at home. It's super easy. You just take like some sprouted corn tortillas and cut them up, put them in the oven, bake them for about 20 minutes, and you're good to go. You've got your own homemade healthy tortilla chips. But keep in mind that these are going to be higher in calorie density than if you were just to eat the corn whole. And for those of you who don't know, saturated fat is one of the most harmful forms of fat you can possibly be eating. It is non-essential for our health. The only fats that we absolutely need to survive are going to be your omega-3s. And these can be obtained by eating fish if you're non-vegan, which I highly don't recommend for a number of reasons, but mostly because they're so highly polluted and full of heavy metals. Other sources of omega-3s are things like chia and flax seeds. Just a tablespoon of each per day and you'll get all the omega-3s that you require. So if you're still looking for extra tips and strategies on how to overcome your current weight gain or have been struggling to take off those last 5 pounds, whatever it is, if you want more practical information on how to get back to a lean, healthy body, make sure you check out my most popular video on how I lost 30 pounds on a whole food, plant-based, SOS-free diet. This diet has helped not only myself, but each and every one of my clients take off 30 pounds plus within the first 2 months. Focusing on nutrient quality will allow you to reach not only your weight loss goals, but your health goals in general. So I highly recommend checking out some of these other resources I've created or reaching out to me personally with the information in the description box below. All right, that's it for this video. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you guys next time.